You might wonder why I'm dressed like a lumberjack, holding a chainsaw. I'm going to turn these logs into this. All the timber is reclaimed, so I need to watch out for metal. This timber is from a structure in my friend's backyard. I'm not removing all the paint to link back to that history. The legs are set at a 5-degree outward tilt. And I'm doing just that by tilting this big rebate joint 5 degrees. Taking the opportunity to trim off the worst bits. Using the classic end over flip to ensure both cuts line up. Two from one. Perfect. These power pole offcuts have metal in them also. Hitting that with a sharp tool, absolute disaster. It doesn't need to be exact, I just need a flat at 90 degrees. And that is good enough. That's what I want. The thread biting, but the shaft loose in the hole. Spoon carving blocks have a ledge for propping your workpiece into. I'm making mine 3 centimeters deep. This wood is 30 plus years old and super hard. A chainsaw is probably the only way of realistically cutting this. A guy on social media commented on these chopping blocks, and he reckons the best blocks for this are softwood because it's lighter. The surface does not dull your axe as quickly and is less slippery. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Bashing it like that was a mistake, but it's not as bad as it looks. Under that crack is a void where they removed a lag screw from the original pole. I think that exposed screw hole adds some interest to the log's history, so it's a bonus. You can see it very clearly later on in the video. So this is a multi-step procedure. Position and partially drill the first hole. Check the leg is 90 degrees and drill the second. Then take it all off and fully drill the depth. Each leg is labelled because they all have to come off to be trimmed and put back on in the same place. The blocks are imperfectly square and different heights. Measuring it this way with the laser ensures that both tops are level and at the same height. My friend that I'm making these for wanted the height between 660 and 700. Because the block is not perfectly square, the bottoms of the legs are not exactly 5 degrees anymore. So each one needs to be custom cut, angle and length. This is just construction adhesive. Yeah, pretty solid. You've got to be happy with that. As planned, we have our equal height and level tops. Now the mallets. I picked this offcut because it's super hard and dense, and it's big enough to make 3 mallets out of. One side had some bad cracks, so I cleaned that up first, and to make it a little bit more symmetrical for the lathe. This was a very long and laborious task because the wood was so hard. It took forever to turn these 3 mallets. This is 10 times speed. The cracks are worse than I thought, so I hope to get at least 2 mallets from this. That seems usable. To make them feel more balanced, I'm putting a slight taper on the head. I figured no sense in making it perfect because it's just going to get bashed, and rather than take it down to perfectly round, I left as much weight on it as possible. I'm using 50% boiled linseed oil with 50% mineral turpentine. Turpentine? We call it terps. And that just makes it a bit thinner and more penetrating into the wood. I got comments on social media saying that the power poles have been soaked in creosote. That might have been true. In my opinion, the danger of imparting any of that poison onto your workpiece is zero, especially after 30 years. Arguably, after this boiled linseed oil has cured, it is safe as well. I'll put a link in the description to a video essay by Stumpy Nubs, who can argue this case for me. Okay, we're bringing it home. As long as these cracks don't weaken the mallets, I think they add character and match the chopping blocks. Probably the same timber, both ironbark. Next week, my spoon carving tutor friend is coming over to collect these. Bookmark my channel with a sub so you don't miss a demo of us making some really nice spoons.